It's a growing evidence that chronic stress, emotional trauma, toxic relationship negatively. It's a growing evidence that chronic stress, emotional trauma, toxic relationship negatively impact on our immune system, potentially contributing towards autoimmune disorders like lupus, multiple sclerosis, rheumatoid arthritis, chronic inflammation, depression, anxiety, and even spike in cortisol levels. Don't you think it's a need of an hour to address this? Yes, in coming days, we'll be learning all about identifying what is mental diet, processing and analyzing, then rewiring and resetting our mindset accordingly. In the previous episodes, we were talking about intake. So whether it's information, thoughts, belief, whatever it is, it's intake. So let's know more about mental diet and how it is related to mental talk.
Very nice. The intake that we have in terms of thoughts, it depends on the news that we are watching, the ideas that we are getting from others. That could be social media, your circle. They say that the 5 people that you interact with on a daily basis forms your core character, your core thoughts. Okay, so all this is mental intake, right? So this directly is related to your mental diet, which is the basis of your mental talk. And what do I mean by mental talk? It is the conversation that you have with yourself when you are alone.
Maybe we all know that we converse with our friends, relatives, and anybody in the society. But what is self-talk? How do we do self-talk within ourselves?
Right. Self-talk is when you're alone. What are the predominant thoughts that you have about yourself? Are you happy with yourself? Are you not happy with yourself? Or are you just neutral and accepted yourself? That is self-talk or mental talk. When you're alone, the predominant feeling that you're having about yourself is mental talk.
Quite interesting, right? So let's stay tuned to know more about mental talk. So let's talk real.
So let's dive into today's topic, self-talk. Preeti, let's know what is the predominant pattern of self-talk, right? Every person in this world has their own patterns of self-talk, which is why any kind of mind technique that you use, it's never a one size fits all. It is differs person to person. And one way to find out your predominant thought pattern is to start journaling. Okay? Which means you need to take out at least a few minutes every day and become aware of what you're telling yourself when nobody is around.
Preeti, journaling is a new trendy word, right? But seriously, I don't know anything about journaling. So please, can you explain us what are journaling materials and efforts required for journaling?
To not just identify your self-talk, but to rewire it too. So I would say that journaling is one of the most important and effective ways to identify self-talk. Okay, for journaling, it is basically writing. Okay, so you will need a pen and a paper. I would suggest that have a dedicated notebook for any kind of mind work or any kind of awareness about self-talk, right? So with pen and paper, every day you are going to write. What are you going to write? How you are feeling, right? So the first step to identify self-talk is awareness. And by awareness, I mean tuning in to how you're feeling at that moment. So one suggestion would be to set your alarm 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, and at night. And every time the alarm goes off, within practical means, stop whatever you're doing and just feel how it is in your mind right now. Are you happy? Are you sad? Are you neutral, anxious, stressed? Whatever it is, in one line, write it down in your journal. I'm happy now. I'm not feeling good. I'm feeling stressed, maybe anxious. Just in one sentence, write down how you're feeling at that point when the alarm goes off. Do this 3 times a day consistently for the next 1 week to 10 days. And you will see a pattern that emerges. And that would be your dominant self-talk pattern.
Really beautiful, Preeti. It's always I have thought we are more judgmental and we pass critics on others. But we don't know what we talk to ourselves. What is our predominant talk? And setting alarm is something very interesting because, we are not that dedicated or committed to do the self-talk and journaling it on everyday basis. So setting alarm is a very nice thing. So stay tuned to know more about self-talk, identification and processing of self-talk. So let's talk real. Welcome back to today's episode. So Preeti, we were talking about journaling. See, as a common human, I don't know the key factors. For example, sometimes I'm very lazy. Sometimes I have mood swings, anger issues. Sometimes I poke my nose unnecessarily into conversations and arguments. So for me to understand, if I can have an individual single word to label myself what it is, it will be really helpful.
Well, some of the common self-talk patterns that emerge are maybe of happiness, sadness, grief, right? It could be distraction or laziness, procrastination, giving up, taking for granted, instant gratification. These are all predominant patterns that could emerge.
Can we know more about the terms procrastination and instant gratification for that matter?
Procrastination is putting off things, okay, which could be stemming from fear, from self-doubt, which are again two other patterns that could emerge. Okay? So procrastination is something that you put off doing because either you don't want to do it or you're scared that you will not be able to do it, or there is this fear that it will not come out the way you want it to. Okay? So perfectionism is one more offshoot of procrastination, right? So with procrastination, you have this tendency to stop taking action, which will come back later as guilt and shame. Why didn't I do this when I should be doing this? Okay, so can you see the pattern that is emerging? You're putting off things, going to the whole self-doubt and fear, which again is your baseline pattern.
So today we learned about procrastination. There are many more keywords which we'll use in the journaling. So let's talk real.